Good afternoon. My name is Lola Acosta. I am a member of the League of Women Voters of Sacramento County, and I will present the ballot propositions. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization of men and women that encourages citizens to be informed and to participate in government at all levels. The League does not support or oppose any candidate or political party. Rather, the League provides information and moderates candidate forums, such as this today, to help voters understand issues, learn about candidates, and make informed choices at the polls. Before moving to the ballot measures, I want to let you know what is new in this election, then share League of Women Voters Education Fund recommendations for evaluating ballot presentations, then cover the two ballot measures you will meet on Election Day. What is new in this election? There will be different election districts. Who you are voting for and where you may vote may change. Which lawmakers represent you depends on which districts you live in. Every 10 years, the district lines get redrawn based on the census. In California, voters passed a law about a new way of setting up the revised districts. This is the first election using the new district lines. You will also find a new way of choosing candidates. You will still choose candidates for president based on your political party, but other offices will use the new top two vote-getting system approved by voters. For president, voters from each political party choose who will be their nominee. The candidates with the most votes from each party run against each other in the November election. For other elected offices, all voters will choose from the same list of candidates. The two candidates with the most votes will advance to the November election regardless of which political party they are. If you are not registered with a political party, your ballot will not have any candidates for president. Two of the political parties, Democrat and American Independent, will allow no party preference voters to ask for their ballots in the June 5th election. If you want to vote on presidential candidates for another party, you need to re-register and select that party. The deadline to register for this election is May 21st. The following are League recommendations for evaluating ballot measures. First, examine what the measure seeks to accomplish. Do you agree with those goals? Is the measure consistent with your ideas about government? Do you think the proposed changes will make things better? Who are the real sponsors and opponents of the measure? Check where the money is coming from on the Secretary of State's campaign finance website. Is the measure written well? Will it create conflicts in law that may require court resolution or interpretation? Is it good government, or will it cause more problems than it will resolve? Does the measure create its own revenue source? Does it earmark, restrict, or obligate government revenues? If so, weigh the benefit of securing funding for this measure against the cost of reducing overall flexibility in the budget. Does the measure mandate a government program or service without addressing how it will be funded? Does the measure deal with one issue that can easily be decided by a yes or no vote? Or is it a complex issue that should be thoroughly examined in the legislative arena? If the measure amends the Constitution, consider whether it really belongs in the Constitution. Would a statute accomplish the same purpose? All constitutional amendments require voter approval. What we put into the Constitution would have to come back to the ballot to be changed. Finally, be wary of distortion tactics and commercials that rely on image but tell nothing of substance about the measure. Beware of half-truths. A yes vote means that you support the way the proposition would change things. A no vote means that you would prefer to leave things the way they are now. about the propositions themselves. I will present short descriptions of the two statewide propositions being decided by California voters June 5th. Proposition 28 would put limits on state lawmakers' terms in office, the way it is now. In 1990, Californians voted to put limits on how many times state lawmakers could be re-elected for the same office. A member of the state assembly is limited to 3 two-year terms currently. A member of the state senate is limited to 2 four-year terms. Generally, the most a person can serve in the state legislature is a combined total of 14 years. What Proposition 28 would do if enacted by the voters? It would decrease the total years combined a person could serve in the state legislature to 12 years, but allow future lawmakers to run for re-election for the same office more times. A person could serve those 12 years as 6 two-year terms in the state assembly, 3 four-year terms in the state senate, or some split of time between the two houses. This change would only apply to members of the state legislature first elected after the June 5th, 2012 election. There would be no direct effect on the state budget. What do the proponents of this measure say, the people who like this measure? They say Proposition 28 would decrease the combined total years a person could serve in the state legislature. What do the opponents of the measure say? They say Proposition 28 would increase the years a person could serve in one house of the state legislature. Moving on to Proposition 29, the tobacco tax. The way it is now. California collects different kinds of taxes on the sale of cigarettes or other tobacco products. One of these is an 87-cent excise tax that raises money for specific purposes. In 2010-11, this tax raised more than $900 million. What Proposition 29 would do if enacted by the voters? It would add a $1 excise tax on a pack of cigarettes for a total excise tax of $1.85 per pack, with an equivalent amount on other tobacco products. The money raised from the new tax would be used by a Cancer Research Citizens Oversight Committee to fund cancer and tobacco-related disease research. The new tax would also pay for prevention and stop smoking programs and would support a new tobacco tax enforcement fund. The effect on the state budget. In 2013-14, the new tax would generate almost $800 million for activities described above. The higher prices of tobacco products caused by the new tax would increase state and local sales tax revenues by about $10 million to $20 million per year. Future amounts could be lower as tobacco use continues to decline. What do the proponents of this measure say, the people who support this measure? They say taxing tobacco saves lives. The $1 tobacco tax will be paid only by those who choose to continue using tobacco. What do the opponents of the measure say? They say California can't afford a new spending committee that lacks accountability and duplicates other programs. There are 2 websites you can check for more information about the upcoming election. They are smartvoter.org and LWVsacramento.org. Thank you for this opportunity to present information. The League welcomes both men and women as members and encourages donations to further our work in the community. The League of Women Voters is where hands-on work to safeguard democracy leads to civic improvement. Please remember to vote Tuesday, June 5th. Thank you and good afternoon.